Hey everybody, this is Paul Fleming with FPN Outdoors, teaming up with the crew over at Wave Pool and Grill Store to bring you some instructional how-to videos to a spectacular barbecue. So we're going to get started today with a surf and turf to break the ice. What we've got is we've got two absolutely gorgeous fillets. We're going to bacon wrap those, and we're also serving that with shrimp. We're going to skewer those, season them up, and then we're also going to do asparagus on our grill plate here. Now we're all going to be doing this on the Weber EX6 wood pellet grill. I'm going to set up a little bit more of a tutorial when we get to cooking so you understand what kind of pellets we're using for this cook. Every cook is a little different, so you can mix match pellets. There's certain pellets that you'll use for a smokier flavor or a different type of a flavor. So today we're going to start with our prep work here, and then we're going to get to the grilling in a little while. So these meats are actually, we actually picked these meats up from the Wave Pool and Grill Store. They have a huge selection of meats, from seafood to meats to ribs. There's all kinds of stuff that they have there. Now they even have special cuts that you can order ahead of schedule, as well as if you don't want the time to have to thaw out your meat and everything else. If you want to get meat that is not flash frozen, if you give them a 2-day head notice, they can order your stuff in and get it right to you, and then that way you're literally picking up your food from them and going right to the prep work and getting your meal started. So we're going to start off with the fillets here. I've got a very thick cut bacon to use with these. Just really helps wrap in the flavor. So with my fillets, what I like to do is I'm a very big fan of the McCormick's Montreal steak seasoning. So we're going to start off with the Montreal steak seasoning. I want to get a really good coating all the way around the meat. So now that we have the meat all good and done with the Grill Mates Montreal seasoning, I use toothpicks to wrap my bacon. Okay, so we're going to start with the first side. We'll roll this over to the side. Now these are rather thick fillets, so I'm going to put 2 slices of bacon for each one. So we're going to get a good wrap going here. Okay, and this bacon actually wraps over just nice enough for me to use the same toothpick on the one side. Okay, I will throw another toothpick just to keep it from drooping down over here. And now we'll start with our next piece of bacon. Get that wrapped around there. Tag that back onto the same one. And again, we'll throw an extra one in there for good measure, keep it from rolling down. Okay, and we'll do the second fillet. Get a good wrap around. Now, important to remember when you're working with meat on the grill, or any meat really, you should really make sure that the meat is at room temperature. That's where you're going to get the best flavor. The meat will be perfectly tender. It's going to come out exactly the way you want. So now what I like to do with my fillets and my steaks is I put them in a large Ziploc bag. And I do this for a couple of reasons, because we're going to put this back in the refrigerator for just a few minutes, let everything kind of soak its way up, and then we'll bring it back out to room temperature. But I like to throw a little bit of a mixture of stuff in here. So I like to take a little A1 sauce, okay, and I'll lift that open, and I'll just kind of let the A1 get its way, if it'll come out. There we go. So we get the A1 all over there. Let a little extra go in the bottom of the bag. Get a little Worcestershire sauce. Same thing here. Get it all up on top. Now, since we're doing bacon wrap fillets and we've got our toothpicks in there, we've got to watch ourselves when we do this next process, rather than when you do normal steaks, because I like to shake them up. But in this case, we're just going to move the bag around to kind of really saturate the meat and get the meat ready to go. Because if we start shaking it, we're going to start poking holes in the bag. So our meat is now done. So we will go ahead and put that off to the side and get that ready to go. Now, for our shrimp, we're going to put our shrimps on skewers here. So again, this shrimp was gotten at, so these are some jumbo shrimp, so I'm only going to put 4 per skewer. Okay, so we got those in. It's nice, these shrimp were already pre-peeled and ready to cook right out of the bag, so kind of makes the prep work a little easier. We're not over here trying to devein and, you know, de-shell shrimp, so kind of makes the prep work a little easier here. Almost there. Alright, so we've got our skewers all set up here. A rag. Alright, so with this, we're going to use some roasted garlic powder. Get a nice, good shot of that, both sides. Alright. So now we're going to use some caliente seasoning. Give them suckers a little zip. You know, we don't want to, you know, this is all based upon your taste, obviously. You know, obviously if you're not into real hot stuff, then I would use a little less, but that caliente seasoning really gives the shrimp a really good pop. All right, so we now have our shrimp done. Next, our final thing that we're going to do is we're going to do a beautiful tray of asparagus. The asparagus we're going to use on this griddle plate. Now, this griddle plate, it's a Weber griddle plate, and it's nice because it has a flat griddle side. So if you're doing things like eggs or anything else you can do, it's a cast iron, very heavy duty. The other side has raised ridges, so when you're doing stuff like asparagus, you've got oils and stuff like that, or even if you're going to do bacon or something, it's really nice. Has an open slot so you can actually drain your grease in there, which makes it really nice. So with the asparagus is we don't want to really do a whole lot with it, because asparagus is got a really good flavor to begin with. So what we're going to do is we're going to take some olive oil, and we're going to get these guys all lubed up, drained up with olive oil, get them good and saturated. Okay, and then at that point, it's salt and pepper to taste. I'm using a pink sea salt. It's a cracked. I normally use cracked pepper, but unfortunately my black pepper grinder broke just before this, so we're just going to go with some regular ground pepper onto them. that's it for the prep. So now we're going to go ahead and make our way to the grill, and we'll show you how to get the EX6 wood pellet grill by Weber fired up and ready to go. We'll tell you what kind of pellets we're using to do this meal with, and we'll see how it turns out. Alright, so this is the Weber EX6 wood pellet grill. It's the SmokeFire grill. I'll give you a little look at the inside of it too. Okay. So I've done some cooking on this already, and I'll take you around to the back side. So your control module is right here, which we'll get into when we start cooking. But this is the area where the wood pellets go into. Now currently, the pellets that I have in here are hickory pellets, okay? So they're the char hickory right here, okay? We are actually going to use the Grill Master blend for today's cook. Now, at Wave Pool and Grill, if you ask them in advance, they actually sell these blue tubs right here for only $5 a piece. They make a great storage to keep the moisture out of the pellets. I basically put the pellets in, and as you see, I took the bags and taped them to them so I know exactly what they are. I actually have two more standing up over here, which is actually holding up our other camera right now. But what we're going to do is I am going to basically empty out the majority of all these pellets as far down as I can go, because I'm going to fire the grill up and I've got to get it up to temperature anyway. So by the time that burns through, our Grill Master blend will be what we're cooking on. So we'll actually heat up on the remaining parts of the char hickory, make the neighborhood smell really good and make everybody start to be jealous already of what you're cooking. So I'm going to go ahead and get the rest of the char hickory out and put the Grill Master blend in, and then we'll get cooking. Okay, so I've got my Tupperware here, and again I'm going to go ahead and pull out as much of the pellets as I can. Now, one of the cool things about this grill is they've got a Weber Connect app that you can download to your phone, and there's a little sensor window in here. So if you're inside and you're smoking or you're grilling and the pellets get low, it'll actually send you an alert that says, hey, guess what, you're low, which is a super nice feature about this grill. Okay, so now that we've got that emptied out, we're going to go ahead and reach in and go ahead and fill up a new one. Pull this down, make it easier on myself. Alright. So we got that Grill Master blend in now, and we're going to go ahead and get her fired up and go through the warm-up process on the SmokeFire EX6 grill, and we'll go ahead and get it up to our core temp that we need to get our meat started. Okay, so our power switch is located underneath once we're plugged in, and once we get that turned on, we will wait for our SmokeFire grill to fire up. Now that just showed you the Weber Connect app, so that allows you to download the app onto your phone, and once your grill is hooked up and going, you can change your desired temperatures, you can set timers, you can, I've got these probes here, so we'll put the probes into the meat so we can look at the temperatures to them and make sure that they're cooked to our desired temp. So if you see this little icon up here, she's now connected to Wi-Fi, my local Wi-Fi network here at home, and that allows me to connect to my app. Currently, our probe inside says that our grill is at a room temp of 85 degrees. Really can't wait for the next cold front to actually come through so That'll show a nice little lower temperature there. Now we're going to go ahead and get this thing fired up to 250 degrees. So we're going to do that by pushing on this knob, and it's now going to ask us to turn the dial to set our temperature. And we're going to go ahead and set that to 250 degrees. We're going to hit start. It now shows that our target temp is at 250. Our current temp inside, it says that keep the lid closed, everything is heating up. You can probably hear the fan start kicking up, and she'll start firing up and getting it going. So once this thing gets up a little bit closer to temperature, we'll come back. Okay, so my wife and daughter like their steaks a little more well done than I'd like mine done. So I butterflied their filet, and I've put theirs on early to get the temperature up. Now, if you notice 2 probes that I've got in there, so that goes back to what we were talking about earlier. So now when you look here, so there's 4 ports on the underside here that'll hold probes on this thing. So you can see probe number 1 is at 72 degrees and probe number 2 is at 71 degrees. I also slowed the temperature down, if you look there, to 220 degrees just to get theirs started. I'll ramp the temperature back up to 250 degrees here in about 10 minutes, 15 minutes to 250 degrees, and I'll put the remaining steaks on the grill to get those guys going, as well as the asparagus and the shrimp. So, but I just wanted to kind of show you the probes there. Once I have all 4 probes in and running, I will show you the app on the phone so you can kind of see how you can monitor that from your phone. Alright guys, so as I said, I'm going to set a timer for 10 minutes to give my wife and daughter's steaks a little more time to cook because they like them a little more well done. So right down here I'm going to hit the timer button, and then it's just as simple as rolling the dial. It's 10 minutes and pushing the start button. So now you see another window here that shows my timer. Now when that timer goes off, it'll obviously alert out here with the grill, but it'll also alert me on my Weber Connect app and allow me to come out if I'm inside or doing something else. Gives me a warning that my food is or my timer is up. Now as you can see, you have all your probes here as well. So as we add 2 more probes, you know, they'll go down and show the other probes as well. Oh, hey guys. You caught me watching a little TV. Well, my app just showed me that my timer just went off. So I've got probe 1 at 100 degrees and probe 2 at 99 degrees. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to hit my grill control, and I'm going to change the target temperature. I'm going to bring that back up to our 250 degrees and hit set. So now I'm warming the grill back up so I can put my other steaks on. And now back to more football. All right, everybody. So I had to take a break from watching football to get the steaks back on. So ready to go. I've got the asparagus onto my griddle plate. I've got my shrimp ready to go, and I've got my other 2 steaks here. So we're going to go ahead and open this up. Now I removed the top rack in here just for today, just because I wasn't really going to need it today. So I'm going to take this griddle plate, get that guy on. I'm going to slide that to the back for the time being. Go ahead and get these shrimps on. We'll put those up front, and I'll get you a close up here when we get it all set in there and done. Alrighty. So now I'm going to take my probe, the next probe, well, those steaks are already starting to look good. Give them a quick flip. Yeah. I got my probe plugged in. Go ahead and pull the next stake out. Alright, go ahead and get this probe plugged into it. Get my last probe out. So the 4 ports are color coded. They're all red at the bottom, but I stack my probes so that the colors all coincide. So it goes red, blue, green, and then yellow. So that way I know which steaks or which meats are being used. Like I said, we get you a nice up close view of this. Okay. Kind of tuck my wires in a little bit just so they're not all over the place. A little OCD-ness on my end over here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and close the lid. I'll get you a close-up view in here in a second. Alright, so that is a healthy looking grill right there. Got our asparagus on the griddle plate. Got our shrimp sitting over there, and we've got our 4 steaks. Now again, the two steaks over here, we butterflied those because my wife and daughter like them a little more well done, and then those are the nice thick fillets with the bacon around them. I wrap bacon around my wife and daughters as well, so they've got the same flavor, but theirs are just a little thinner, and they'll be definitely a lot more well done. All right, guys, so my 2 medium rare steaks have reached their temp to 120 degrees, which is what we set our probes to alert us at. So our other ones are only at 147 degrees, so they still have about 20 degrees to come up the temperature. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove those 2 steaks now, get them off to the side, because again, they're going to come up in temperature just sitting here, and then we'll stick them back on and get them warmed up. Man, that's looking good in there. All right, everybody. We're ready to eat. We've got some beautiful fillets, shrimp's good, and that asparagus looks amazing. I'm going to go ahead and set us up a plate here. So you want to be careful because these probes are extremely hot. We've got that beautiful fillet. I'm going to take this shrimp kebab here. Now I tell you, if that ain't a beautiful plate, I don't know what is. Stay tuned for our next one. We're going to do a Thanksgiving special. No turkey for us this year. We're going to smoke some ribs right here on the Weber EX6 Smoke Fire Grill. Till next time, we'll see you then.